no time did I have a driver's license on me at that time. They did not find one. They did not produce one in court. I did not have one. So these amended charges were also false. It seems like the St. Louis County and the St. Louis County Police Department, along with the Suntrups, are dealing out false reports, false charges against people. Maybe it's to make money, but in my case, I think it was just to get rid of me. Again, they charged me eventually with walking and false reporting to a police officer. Now, to the trial. On the day of the trial, we stood before the jury and we gave opening statements to the jury. First, Assistant Prosecutor Mr. Malone, and then myself. And then Mr. Malone proceeded to go into his charges and why he thinks the jury should find me guilty. They brought in the sergeant that arrested me, and also the other officer who filled out the police report, the one who did the police report. And I cross-examined, and then it was my turn to, it was my turn to, I didn't have any witnesses, so after my cross-examining of the police officers, the jury went into deliberation to find guilt or non-guilt. Again, it was a 2-day process. I'm kind of speeding this up for time's sake. I actually took the stand on my behalf the second day prior to the jury deliberating because it was late in the evening. So I took my to put my defense on prior to that. Prior to deliberation again, of course, but the second day. When the jury did deliberate the second day after my defense was put on, again, I defended myself. I felt that I could defend myself rightfully, and I kind of knew what I was doing, so I defended myself. And I was up against 2 assistant prosecutors and 2 police officers, and the only defense I had was my word, was me. I had no one else. And after deliberation, the jury came out the second day, and the charges that they found was defendant found guilty by jury on the first account, which was walking along a road. Again, I wasn't walking along a road. And for the count 2, false report to a police officer, I was found not guilty for that. Again, the prosecutor wanted me to plead guilty in the beginning, pay $25. Well, first he didn't start with $25. First he wanted me to just plead guilty to all the offenses. But eventually he wanted me to plead guilty to walking and pay $25. I felt that I was in no way at all guilty of anything. Me being a novice at this, somewhat a lay person in the court, the assistant prosecutor, in some case, in the first account, he made up, outsmarted me because he came in the court with all kind of motions for the jury, motions for the judge to not allow me. Here's one: motion in limine to exclude photographs from the evidence. I had photographs of what I was doing. Also, he had a motion in limine to exclude videotape from the evidence. Again, me being a novice and in court in a situation like this, there's a process you have to go through. You have to be able to set up the situation where you can introduce evidence into court. At that time, I wasn't as good as I am now at doing it. Again, I'm a novice. And secondly, he had a motion to exclude me from even stating the name of Suntrup. This assistant prosecutor did not even want me to state the name of Suntrup. But me, I was able to go behind the scene and use his evidence and introduce this evidence into court because he introduced an aerial display of the area, and on this aerial display of the area was the Suntrup dealerships. But since he introduced his evidence, I was able to use his evidence that he introduced to get my evidence into court eventually. It worked out, I think, for the better for me. Number one, I did not plead guilty to anything. Number two, I defended myself in the St. Louis County Court against 2 county prosecutors, 2 lawyers who felt they had the better evidence, the better case against me. So that is the result of that arrest. I was found guilty of walking. Look at the video. Go back and look at the video yourself. See if you see me walking up and down the street. And then listen to the video and see if you hear anything that you think is a lie. When the police officer asked me clearly for identification, which I didn't have to really produce an ID. There is no law in the state of Missouri stating that I must have an ID on me at all times. I didn't have to have one on me. And that's not a crime. But I did not have an ID on me. And they did not find one on me. They did not produce one in court. They did not produce a copy of one. So they did not collect one into evidence. When they arrested me, when they collected evidence, there was no ID. They have to put all my personal belongings. They have to list that. On the list was no ID. So the jury was able clearly to see that. Again, I wish I would have won 100% of it, but I won 50% of it. I think that was great. And again, I'm going to continue my boycott. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And by the time I get through with, I hope, my hope is that people who are done wrong and people who are arrested falsely do not plead guilty. Do not plead guilty if you know you didn't do anything wrong. But sometimes there are instances where circumstances are, are put on you where you, in order to get the best out of this, you may have to plead guilty to a misdemeanor or something like that. But if you feel in your heart that you was wrong, I wouldn't plead guilty. Again, thank you for listening, and I'm going to continue to boycott. And when something has happened, if I'm arrested again, you'll be the first to know. Thank you.